you're watching this video later, just remember you are watching a live video pre-recorded. So, hey guys, I like to go live 2 or 3 times a week. That's my goal. I don't always get to that goal, but I really want to and I really try to. So if you're a coffee geek like me, I'm just going to ask you right now, y'all, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Make sure you're hitting that bell notification so you can see a lot of the basically reviews and goofy stuff I do. And y'all, when I do these live, sometimes I make mistakes. That's okay, right? Sometimes I make mistakes. It happens. Oh my goodness. But hey, guys, yeah, I am Tony. I am a complete coffee geek in every single way. And I hope that if you're a coffee geek like me, you're getting some enjoyment and some fulfillment out of hanging with me. The reason why I do these lives is just so we can have an opportunity to hang out. Guys, I've shared this story before, but I'm just a home hobbyist. I'm not some big coffee pro. I'm not. I've never claimed to be that. I worked in the cafe as a barista when I was in college, but I really like to find the budget way to do things, and I like to find the alternative way to make stuff happen that's really cool. Because A, I'm really cheap. I don't know if you're like me. You might be. And then B, I'm a geek. I'm somebody's dad, somebody's husband. I've been married for almost 20 years. Have a soon to be 18-year-old son. And guys, this is my work at home office. It's messy. I'm not going to show you every little thing, but here's my work at home office. I have about 10 different espresso machines in here, not including mobile espresso machines. I've got my multiple grinders. Y'all, I am a complete geek in every way. So, hey, James. Oh, cool. Hey, buddy. I'm so glad you made it. So, guys, I actually told James to jump into the live stream because I wanted to show him this. So, just a quick side note here. So, this is a 51 millimeter 3-yeared bottomless portafilter. Now, I use this with my Chardor, basically espresso machine. Gevi uses this. Casa Brews uses it. Oh man, so many different ones. I just did another review for Naretfa, and they use this as well. This is one of the most popular budget style systems. Now, I'm going to show you another one just because I want to make sure that anyone who has a 51 millimeter doesn't make this one mistake. So here is my DeLonghi, and this is my DeLonghi ECP. I have it right over here on the side. The DeLonghi ECP is a 2-eared system. So again, it's 51 millimeters, but that's kind of the big thing. You're looking for 3 years. Here's the hard thing with 3 years. There are some manufacturers out there, third-party manufacturers, who they make 3 years that the ears are fatter and don't quite fit, but this will fit perfectly. A Gevi system. I have an IMS. Oh man, it's stuck in here a little bit. 51 millimeter basket. Okay, and I love this thing. This thing is really cool. It's a precision basket. But one of my favorite, absolute crazy favorite baskets to use is my big boy basket. And when I say big boy, I mean big boy. I must have taken it out already. Here's my other DeLonghi. You can get a 4-shot basket on Amazon and places like AliExpress for really affordable. Here is a step-down basket for 51 millimeter, but it's basically the same concept. These are actually a 51 millimeter puck screen, and they create this awesome, beautiful, big, giant puck that just creates this really good depth. So if you're looking to get more coffee in there, 51 millimeters is perfect for that. Oh, cool. You got the Amazon link I sent you. Awesome. Oh, yeah, cool. I'm reading your comment right now. So here's the thing when it comes to that particular Amazon link. I'm telling you guys, this is kind of the hard part with some of the Amazon links. Or Amazon in general. When people write reviews, I think they have different machines they get it for. And that's kind of what I was talking about. I have a video. Hey, how's it going, man? I have a video on my channel that has like 2,000 views of one of my portafilter malfunctions, and it was actually with my DeLonghi ECP. I had purchased one of the portafilters, and like I mentioned, the ears were just not matching up, and everyone who watches the video is like, "Oh, you went too fine." It blew out the whole thing. So that's kind of the thing, is that a lot of times folks might have a machine that these don't necessarily match with, and that's kind of the hard part. But I'm gonna tell you this right now, this one will work. I know that because I've used it many, many times, and I haven't. I've thought about getting a new one because it has a plastic handle. That's my only really downside with this one, is the plastic handle. I don't really care for that. And this little flippy thing, it's not my favorite, but it works. That's the most important part. But yeah, that would be my recommendation. If you see IKAPE making anything on there, IKAPE is awesome. Here's another 51 mil. But yeah, cool. So hey, man, good luck to you on that one. So what that little flippy thing is for is when you're knocking your puck into your knock box, you go like this and it holds the portafilter in. I never really have that problem. I'm going to show you something with this unit. I actually need to sometimes get water, especially only really with this IMS one. And for some reason with the IMS one, it gets a little stuck sometimes, and I have to pry it open, by using a tool. A good hack, if anyone's new to espresso, would be you grab another espresso basket, and usually, and I'm not going to fill around with it right now, but there we go. I'm doing it. Yep, almost there. You could pry it up like that. There's tools that they sell on Ollie and Amazon, but as you can see, there's actually a little bit of espresso that kind of got stuck in there. So sometimes it just dries out and gets a little stuck. I rather have my portafilter be a little tight than loose, because loose means there's not pressure. So I personally, there we go. I'll take tight any day. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's get to the star of the show, guys. Hey, so anybody who's following me, guys, I'm gonna tell you, I'm a huge fan of IKAPE. So IKAPE is a great company that makes a lot of espresso gear, and this is one of my portafilters I recently just got from them. This thing's a total beast. It's a 51 millimeter. It's an E61 group head style because I'm using my Gavi machine mainly. And I'm telling you guys, I just love it. This thing is super cool. If you haven't seen it already, and I've had a lot of folks ask me questions about this, here's the IKAPE V6 tamper. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an opinion, and I'm going to tell you something. This is one of the best tampers I've ever had, period. I love this tamper so much. This is the 58 millimeter. I got a 51 millimeter just so I could use it for my 51 millimeter machines. I bought a twin. So that tells you how much I love it. They are just, and I also bought this one, the 51 millimeter, okay? And then, because I have the 58 millimeter distributor. That's how good this V6 series of IKAPE is. So guys, if you're on the fence or you're looking for some amazing tools, IKAPE is absolutely one of the best ones out there, and they give a really big bang for your buck, and I like that. The quality's up there. I had someone ask me a good question the other day. They said IKAPE and MH Bomber were built in the same city. Were they built by the same company? So I'm going to tell you guys this right now. There's a lot of really cool OEM manufacturers that build a lot of stuff in China. There's just no other way to say it. Gemini is one of those. So this company right here in the States, they work with Me Coffee, and they work with Espresso Outlet to do Turrent Legato. So sometimes there's companies out there that they manufacture for multiple brands. I could tell you ICAP is one of the main ones, and I don't believe they are like the manufacturer. So that's something really cool about ICAP that I really like. So yeah, those are two separate companies in case you're ever wondering. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead. I wanted to do a live unboxing and kind of a live using of this just because everyone knows coffee scales. But I'm always on a hunt for a good coffee scale that's gonna last long. This one says it has a 90-day battery life. Now, I make a lot of coffee videos. Let me open this up while we're chatting. And I go through scale batteries all the time. I use a lot of, this is the, uh, uh, cannot think today. So again, live video, guys. Um, I use a lot of battery. There's just no other way to say it because I'm constantly pulling shots. So I just really wanted to get something that had that longer battery life. Here is the, this is the word I couldn't think about. Guys, I haven't had one shot of coffee today. It's early in the morning for me. So forgive me. This is the USB-C charger that's included with it. The cable, you're going to use your own power brick for it. But yeah, guys, I go through a lot. So having a basically scale that's actually going to last is a big deal to me because I don't know if you guys have ever seen some of my live videos where I'm like, oh crap, oh no, my scale just ran out. It happens to me a lot. All right. Let me go ahead and put this on here. All right, guys. So let's go ahead. Let me show you the star of the show and really kind of what I wanted to show you guys is this cool scale on this video anyway. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff because I have a couple other pieces I'm going to unbox. Got a little mystery thing right here I'm going to show you guys in just a moment. But yeah, let's go ahead and open up the scale. So what I really like about this scale is it has a cover that covers almost all four sides except for the part where you're going to be turning it on and off. And why that's really important, guys, is that I've actually had scales fail on me because they've gotten coffee on them. And there is a manufacturer out there I know that just made a completely water resistant one. But this one is not completely water resistant, but it does have water resistant capabilities like a smartphone built into it. I don't know what the IPS rating is, but I know it definitely does. This uses tempered glass up top. I really dig how it looks. It's super bright and vibrant, and that's awesome. So, like I mentioned, this has all the corners basically covered. I have issues, guys. If you ever use, here, let me take away this scale. If you ever use a 51 millimeter or a really budget friendly machine that does not have the three-way solenoid, you're going to have coffee that comes out afterwards. And I don't know how many times I do a lot of budget machine reviews just because I'm a firm believer that espresso shouldn't be something that is exclusive. I think everybody should be able to make espresso at home and make it cheap. I'm just a really firm believer on that, guys. I know I've kind of shared the stories a lot with you before, but for 20 years, I didn't pull espresso at home. I did a lot of V60 stuff. You know, I did a lot of AeroPress. You know, I love doing V60s. I love, you know, doing all types of pour overs, but I didn't make espresso. And I spent 20 years not making espresso at home just because my first espresso machine I ever bought was one of those, the ones that are kind of like a mocha pot. They're really cheap. You know, if you know, I bought it at Target when I was like 18, 19 years old in high school. And this is ancient times, guys. This is before the year 2000. And I remember bringing it home and I just made really poor coffee. And I remember I went to work later on, you know, in college. And I remember bringing my little espresso machine in the dorm room. And one of the managers at the cafe I was working at was like, dude, that sucks. Why would you make coffee like that? You got to have a Gaja, you know. And I remember seeing he had a Gaja. This is before even the new ones. It was the Gaja Classic, basically. And I remember seeing him pull shots on that. And I thought, oh, I got to at least get one of those. And I mean, you're talking even then, it was probably, I don't know, 300, 400, something like that. My point is, guys, I thought I needed to have a dual boiler machine from Italy. And I just, I robbed myself of making good coffee. Anyway, I say that because I like finding budget stuff. Just to kind of get to the point with the price on this one, it's running about $39. I would call that budget in comparison to, let's say, like, I'm trying to see if I have it here, my dye fluid. Dye fluids can be anywhere from 150 to 200. They're a very precise scale. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't know if I would have spent that type of money on a scale like that. The dye fluid. I did get my dye fluid sent to me by them to do a review, and I really am grateful for that. But I don't know if I would have spent that type of money, just because I'm really cheap. Dye Fluid's a great company. They actually make the refractometer I use a lot, and they do a lot of good stuff. And they are trying to make things a little more affordable. They have another brand out. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna just get this zeroed out. I really dig this screen. Let's get some coffee pulled because y'all, I need an espresso before we even go forward. That's what I need, y'all. I just got this cool coffee canister, and it's one of those that is vacuum sealed. And last night, about 4 in the morning, it started vacuum sealing because it was losing a little bit of that seal. And that's cool. I really like it, but man, I had it in. It woke me up. I like woke up and I was like, "What is going on here?" And I walked in my office because I could hear it, and I thought, I don't know, I thought something was going down. Yeah, here, this is the noise. Oh man, goodness gracious. This coffee smells so good. So this is Lavanza. This is just my house blend coffee. This is an Italian coffee. I'm going to do 18 grams. We're going to use a precision basket, MH Bomber. And I'm just going to pull this first shot, and then we'll play around and do some other stuff. So this scale is very sensitive, as you can see here. Let me go ahead and push this down a tiny bit. It is to a 1/10 of a gram, so that's awesome. It has 4 different modes. There's actually a mode for pour over. There's a mode for espresso. There should be an auto timer mode in here as well. 18.5, I'll take that. So that is really awesome. I don't think that there's pressure flow profiling on this one. I do have another one that's around the size that actually does that, which is wild. Let's go turn this back on. So that's one thing to kind of think about, but price-wise, like I said, it's really good. The biggest thing for me is the battery life. You know, like I said, I use my scales quite a bit, and that's always kind of the thing. I want to make sure that I have a scale that if I'm doing a live video with y'all, I'm not going to, lose power. That's kind of a big deal right there. You don't want to lose power in the middle of doing something. You spend all this time making that perfect shot and you lose the power. No, 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 no. You want to be like He-Man. You got the power. Okay, guys. So I'm going to be using the Hanyu 64 millimeter flat blind burr grinder. This is at HU espresso style. I have it dialed in just for these beans on my last video. That's what I did. So we're going to do that. I need a good shot to get me started. Yeah, I feel like with IKAPE, you really can't go wrong. Like I mentioned, I think they just do really good stuff. I love the price point that they do everything at. That's definitely a good thing. And I've always gotten really good quality stuff. So this actual portafilter in here is, believe it or not, it is an IKAPE portafilter. I say believe it or not because I'm not using an IKAPE handle. I just got this handle. Make sure I'm all clear. Okay, just got this handle the other day. This is actually done by Normcore, and you can get it separately on Amazon, so that's pretty cool. But let me quickly show you guys my mystery box. So, as I said before, I'm always trying to find stuff that's a good deal. You know, that's always my number one goal for me. I got to find stuff that's cheap. I got to support my coffee habit in a good way. So one of the tools that I love using, and I just need an alternative because I make a lot of coffee in the kitchen, is this MH Bomber Lightning distributor tool. It's one that flicks out. Y'all, I've been using this straight for about 9 months and I love it, okay? This runs about $39.99. So again, do I think it's worth it? Totally. If you're looking for a good quality piece and that works really well, 100% worth it. But I need an alternative because I'm brewing in the kitchen, and this is the alternative right here. So this, I'll put the link in the description, but this is basically one of those flick out WDD tools, okay? And it comes with a magnet right here that you could go ahead and has a 3M backing. So if you wanted to put the magnet, let's say on your espresso machine, this espresso machine that I'm using right here, the Gemini, is a really good quality stainless steel, and it's not really magnetized. So that's why it's nice, because it has a 3M sticker, so I know that I'm going to be able to put it on that one if I wanted to. And then here's the star of the show. So this is one of those flip out, however you want to say it, WDD tools, okay? And this is why I'm digging this. This was $8, guys, on Amazon. $8. Now, again, MH Bomber, totally worth it. I had someone reach out to me the other day, and they said, hey, I had to replace some of my on accident bent their needles. And they said it was really hard to replace their needles. Now, I've never had to replace the needles. I've used this thing for 9 months, okay? But again, $40. I dig that. Look how easy that is. It's an all metal construction. Super easy to flip back in. I actually like that it's out in kind of that spread position. That sounds weird. I like that it's not just in one single point. I like it when it's already kind of pushed out to the edge of the basket. Okay. Then inside they also have this. For a moment there, I was trying to figure out what it was. And then I realized, oh, it's for your portafilter. So it's like if you didn't have, a like a mat or something, you wanted to rest your portafilter on the side, or you had a curb. I don't think I'll ever use it, but you can. So yeah, guys. Crazy, right? $8. That's really cool. So if you're looking for a really budget alternative to one of these little flickers, that's a really good one. Again, I like this. I think it's built really well. I literally cannot recommend this more. But if you're looking for something that is just really affordable, that's a good alternative. IKAPE makes one for $20. I need to get the one that IKAPE makes. But yeah, guys, I thought that was cool. Like I said, I was just kind of looking for something that was affordable, my son can use in the kitchen, and I don't know. I might have to buy another one and take this from the kid. Oh my goodness. All right, guys, let's go ahead and let's make some coffee. So I'm using my Gemini Powerhouse. Okay, it's the version 1. In the States, they only have version 1 out. I've really been thinking about, Me Coffee has one that's version number 2. Here, let's go ahead and lower this down. The version number 2 has an OPV valve that is adjustable. So that one seems really cool. A lot of folks have that now. And I'm kind of tempted. There's part of me that's tempted to buy one, but we'll see. Me Coffee could send me one for review. I'll take it. All right, guys. So first time using this distributor. WD tool here. Nice. Yeah, it's pretty easy. I mean, I feel like it's pretty well built. Feels pretty robust. Hey, James, thanks so much for stopping by, my friend. Definitely look forward to hearing what you think about the portafilter and how everything works for you. That's awesome. Yeah, guys, if you ever have a question you want to jump in for one of my live reviews or shows, definitely just let me know. I mean, I don't even mind making one just to answer a question live because sometimes I think it's nice just to be able to chat with someone, talk about some coffee stuff. If there's anything you guys ever have question wise, I'm always here for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the distribution on this. Yeah, I love watching Han's channel, and y'all probably have heard me talk about Han before. If you are not subscribed to Han, please do me a favor. Go subscribe to his channel, Tom's Coffee Corner, Han. Oh man, Morgan, James, of course, Hoffman. You can't. I mean, he's like the coffee master. Uh, all Lance, all those guys. But there's some really great ones. There's a gentleman I've been watching in India. Oh man, what is his name? I'm trying to remember. It's so good. I really love that. Um, yeah, there's a lot of really good people out there to watch. But one of the things I really love about watching Hans is Hans really good about answering questions. The hard thing is sometimes Han has so many people in his room. There's like 30 plus people watching Han anytime that sometimes it's a little hard to get through all that. But other than that, what I've really liked is sometimes I'll ask Han a question, and the people that are hanging in the group will answer the question for me, and I really like that. So that's something I've always admired is that sense of community, and I really dig it. I I, I think sometimes what's tough about coffee is that um, that was cool. It auto started. I didn't even realize it did that. Wow, that is super cool. I think sometimes folks can kind of get in their head. How do I put this? Most people in the coffee business are very giving to other people who are new to coffee. I'll tell you that right now. I've had a lot of great experiences, but every now and then I have an experience, guys, where someone could be a little negative, and it's not that I don't even think they're trying to be. And I guess that's what I dig. I like with Han's community, everyone's really helpful. I guess that's the best way to put it. All right, guys, let's do our first pool. Gemini, Lavanza beans, 18 grams. Let's try to 1 to 2 ratio. Cool. I actually went a little bit finer with this, and I could have went too fine. And dang it, what a bummer. I was trying to push it because last time it was a little too. I'm gonna stop it here because that's just too much. Ah, what a bummer. Okay. I'm telling you guys, it's the one thing about these flat burrs, they're not as forgiving as conical. So I actually pulled a shot yesterday and I thought it went a little fast. So I was trying to dial it in, thinking, oh, this is going to be like that perfect dial in. Have you guys ever done that where you're like, you went fast one day and then you remember the next day and then you try to swap it up and you end up making it not work? That's basically what just happened to me right now. Ah, goodness. Okay, but that's cool. We'll do this one more time with these beans, and we'll move on to the next. I got to get my coffee, guys. I'm telling you, I haven't had any coffee. I'm using my Hanyu portafilter cleaner here off camera. Guys, this thing has been working like a champ. Cool. Still a little bit of coffee in there, but it's okay. That's what a Bartel's for. Okay. When you guys choke it, remember to clean the bottom because obviously it's a lot of nastiness, and that's what happens. It all pulls. I'm using this thing has a boiler that's right up top. Because of that, it does one really great thing. It has great temperature stability. But the deal is, it's hot. So once you have a shot like that, your coffee gets dried out really fast, and it's just, it's not good. So just try to clean it as soon as you can. All right. pull this coffee. Let's get some more beans. Bummer. Man, bummer, bummer, bummer. But that happens. Okay. Let's get that zeroed out. Cool. And I have already adjusted the dial up here. There we go. All right, let's go ahead. Get this going. Oh, that's already a little bit too much. I'm going to go ahead and try to get as close to 18 as possible, as that thing turned on again and like kind of shocked me. I get used to this thing turning on. Sealing up the beans. Y'all, this was a 1.5 bag of Lavazza, and I'm almost done with it already. That tells you how much I go through my coffee, guys. When I do live videos like this or reviews, that's why sometimes I like to get Lavazza, just because that's kind of like a good standby. I dig the Italian 18 mix, or the 80% Arabica and 20% Robusta. You know, I dig that. My son, I started trying to get him hooked to it because, guys, coffee is getting really expensive. And I don't know if y'all been feeling that, but I have. Here in the States, it's getting stupid. There's just no other way to say it. My soon-to-be 18-year-old goes through a lot of coffee every day. So I was trying to give him an alternative. You know, I was like, can't use Dad's specialty coffee for everything. All right. Smells so good. Very cinnamon. A lot of milk chocolate. It's definitely a classic bean. Very commodity based, you know. This is, like I said, not specialty. You know, when I think of specialty coffee, Lavazza is not the first one that would come to my mind. But when I think of a good classic, yeah, definitely. All right, guys, let's go ahead and do this again. I only moved it back about 1.5 tick. So, you know, it really shouldn't be that big of a difference. But it's going to be a big of a difference. I'm pretty sure that, you know, I'm going to not choke the system. The one thing I'm going to say about beans like Lavazza is I do have to go finer, and I do tend to have to baby it a little bit more, because they are commodity. You know, they are, you know, think about it as something you would get in the supermarket. It's the best way to put it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know, I definitely like supporting local roasters and getting stuff regionally. I have mentioned this before, and I'm going to be doing a video that's kind of, you know, based on this. So I live rurally, guys. I live rurally in Florida, Central Florida. I live a couple hours from Mickey Mouse, but I live in the countryside. I have a septic system. And then we do have county water. And why I say that's kind of important is the water that I have here is pretty hard. And water's super important to your coffee. There's just, yeah, there's just no other way to say it. It's probably one of the most vital things to your coffee. So one of the issues I've had is when I get my water, I've had to use that Brita style. I use another brand, Epic, and they're really good. But sometimes I've had to, you know, like use Britas and stuff like that, because, you know, I also can't afford to go buy bottled water and stuff all the time. I go through so much coffee. So I actually got reached out to by a company that makes a reverse osmosis system. And guys, again, this is probably too much TMI, but I'm also a renter. So I can't build into, you know, my countertop some cool reverse osmosis system. And thankfully, this one is completely, you don't have to build into it. It's a countertop version. So I'm going to be doing a video on that pretty soon, probably today or tomorrow. I'm going to be putting that out there on my channel. But there's just that's a whole rabbit hole of your coffee water. So that's something to kind of think about. Okay, guys, so I got this. We should be dialed in. Let's do that second attempt. Nice. I'm digging that. That's better than what I got before. It's still not what I want. At least I'm not choking the system. Way too slow. Oh my goodness. I thought I had it dialed in. It's okay. Y'all, I'm going to let this one ride. I'm not going to stop this one. I haven't had any coffee today. Daddy needs his coffee. Papa needs a shot. Goodness gracious. Okay, I'm going to stop at about 30. I'm digging the scale. Love how bright that is. This is a crazy long shot. I already know someone's going to be like, to over extract it, throw that pig water away. Oh my goodness. Almost a minute, 55 seconds, 31 out. Yeah, I'm sure someone's going to be freaking out on me. Dude, why would you drink that? Because I haven't had any caffeine, and y'all, I need some caffeine. Oh my goodness. And again, sometimes, guys, I will use the refractometer, and I'm not doing it for science. I know I'm not getting the most perfect reading in the world, but I kind of just do it for my own benefit. Uh, I'm just curious now. That's what I'm saying. So 12.8 on this refractometer. 12.8. Definitely in the espresso zone. Oh my goodness, y'all. Okay. Goodness gracious. Cheers. Cheers. First espresso of the day. It's actually not that bad. Very strong, very overly extracted. But I'm not going to complain about it. Add some hot water, make this into a long black. Make it into Americano. Enjoy the coffee. You can't go wrong. If you're chasing that perfect espresso shot, not a perfect espresso shot. But if you need some caffeine in the morning, it'll do the trick. Yeah. Again, not the best, not the worst. Yeah, man. Okay, cool. So, yeah, this is really a neat thing. So this one is just a really great unit, guys. I'm telling you, I have been pleasantly surprised by this so much. And Hazel, I was reading your comment. Um, so this is like the SD40 body, 100%. The difference is with the SD40 and this, believe it or not, they actually have a very similar form factor. It's that the SD40 has conical burrs, and those conical burrs, I want to say, are like they're above 48. They're, I think with the SD, it's like, oh man, 50 or 60, something like that. No, it's not quite 60. I know it's above 48, but I've heard great stuff about getting that, especially with espresso. I've heard really awesome stuff. I don't know if this is going to happen, y'all, but there is a chance that I'm crossing my fingers. Okay, big crossing my fingers. I had someone reach out to me about possibly sending me I think it's the DC63, which is a very, it's pretty much one of the biggest conicals that I've come across. 63 millimeter burrs. Oh, almost thought I dropped that. Okay, and I cannot wait if it happens. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be so happy because I really think that having something like this, and guys, I have a good conical grinder. Let me see if I can grab it really quick without dropping stuff. I have a really amazing conical grinder that I love and I use a lot. I have a couple of them actually, but this is one of my good old faithfuls. Okay, this is the Hybrid G5, and it goes for about 150 to 200 bucks depending on what specials are going on. And this is a great grinder. 38. Oh, is it 30? Yeah, it's 38 millimeter conical burrs. This is by Brew, and this has been a really great beast when it comes to espresso. That's very budget friendly. I have been thinking about making a big espresso showdown, guys. Oh, I gotta clean that. That shows all the love in there. It's the upper burr. And let me know that's something you want me to do because I have a lot of budget friendly grinders that I think a lot of folks might be interested in kind of seeing how they all compare together. But you guys, this is when it comes to espresso, I really like actually having both burr sets. There's a big debate. Han had a great video not too long ago of what's better for espresso. And the consensus is most people say conical because it's more forgiving and more traditional. I use a lot of flappers. And you know what? I don't know. I mean, I use a lot of flappers. This is the HU style. I have the multi-purpose over here. And then later on this week, I should be getting sweet brews or sweet burrs from Brew. So, guys, I'm going to have to do a showdown. Yeah, if y'all want to see that, let me know in the comments because I think I need to do a showdown soon. But yeah, this is a great grinder. If you're ever just looking for a really good budget conical to go against your flat burr, this would be a great one to go with. I always recommend it. I also have my Star Seeker, my Edge. The Star Seeker runs about $300, and I like it. It's built really well, has a crazy build quality, but it kind of comes down to again that budget cost value. You know, where are you at budget wise? You know, you don't. In my day job, guys, I set up commercial businesses with insurance. And one of the things I tell my team all the time is don't shop with your pocketbook when talking to a client. And I know that sounds kind of weird to say that like that, but everyone's on a different budget. And I really hate, gosh, I guess I shouldn't say hate, but I really don't like sometimes, especially in the espresso world, we all kind of get that FOMO. And you're like, at least maybe this is just me, maybe this isn't you, but I'm constantly feel like I'm chasing the next best thing. Oh, that is so hot. My puck screen, I think I caught, or I forgot to put a puck screen. Yeah, I actually forgot to put a puck screen, y'all. Wow, I don't usually do that. Um, I don't know. I'm just saying you could kind of get into this kind of like, well, I gotta have the next best thing. It's the same thing with iPhones and technology. You know, you want to have what's trendy, you want to have what's good. And I'm not trying to ever diss anybody for doing that because I do it. I just take forever to make decisions. I'll watch a bajillion reviews and like figure stuff out. You know, that's kind of the thing. So, anyway, there's a lot of good options out there. Okay, guys. So I have to do one more shot to kind of redeem this. Uh yeah, I gotta do one more shot. I was gonna do another coffee, but I can't have this be my last shot of the day for y'all. I gotta redeem myself a little bit. So let me go ahead. Let's back this bad boy up a little bit. So I don't want to go too far, but I'm gonna put it about 3 clicks up. Okay. And we're gonna use those same beans once again. Again, good old faithfuls. They are delicious. Okay. Yeah, I bet. I'm reading your comment here. Okay, cool, Sam. So, what do you measure with the instrument, and can you explain? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, absolutely. So let me tell you that while I'm doing this. So this is it's a TDS meter. It's by Dye Fluid, and it's really awesome. Again, this is not a budget friendly thing. I'm gonna tell you that right now. They're about 200 to 250. I think right now they're about 200. Very pricey. This is typically something that would be used in a cafe or with a roaster, or someone who's very more or less a coffee professional. Those type of systems are definitely more on the high end side of things. I got sent one by dye fluid to do a review, and I was super happy about it. And I've actually really used it quite a lot in my daily coffee routine a little bit because it does kind of help me kind of gauge. It's TDS, so it's basically your particles of coffee to your water. The one thing I kind of say out there, guys, a lot. Um, I'm not a coffee paid professional, okay? And when I use my TDS, I've had a couple folks, and very, very nicely, tell me, hey, you should use an eyedropper or syringe. And they are 100% right. If you are testing your coffee TDS at a professional level, oh, goodness gracious. You really should let your coffee cool down, okay? And then go ahead and grab not the crema from up top, but from the bottom, and get that's the way to get the more correct sample. Okay, when I do it, I am not doing it as a coffee professional testing it out for the sake of science. I'm a coffee dad, I'm a home barista. I'm more or less just kind of giving myself a barometer of, what I'm doing for my own knowledge and for you guys for fun. Entertainment purposes only. Uh, but that's kind of what it is. And that's the reason why I say that, because I don't ever want to give someone the wrong idea about something. So this is a great tool. This is very much more on that professional level. But it is super cool. If you could ever get one or you want one, I highly recommend it. If you want to really put your game to the next level, cool. But like I said before, I do have a hard time saying, hey, this is something that's like a necessary thing. Because I don't think it is. Especially if you're on a budget. Buy a better grinder with that money. That's kind of my opinion. All right. Hope that's what you're asking. Yeah, so this is a flat burr. This is definitely a flat burr. Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, really? I'm reading your comment about what they use. That's awesome in the cafes. Yeah, there's a lot of cafes, especially from what I've been doing. I did a lot of research on this. There's a lot of cafes in Asia and like South Asia that have been using these type of grinders and the DF grinders. Um, I actually I love visiting independent cafes here in the States, and I shouldn't say here in the States, but I generally don't see a lot of stuff like this. It's usually Italian stuff, and they really want to make sure it's this high end Italian. But I really dig it. I'm telling you guys, I have been so once I dialed in the collar when I got this, the collar was all off. But once I actually dialed in the collar, this thing has just been a champ. I'm really happy with it. And the price point when I first got it was about 300 bucks. Right now on Amazon here in the States, it's 380. They moved it up. But even at 380, that's pretty good. I actually think this is a great alternative to a DF64V because of that. You could change. You can't see it over here because it's on the side, but it's a variable speed because it has that variable speed built in, and then it has blind burrs. Now, there's been a lot of folks that have done the whole is blind burrs better than regular burrs, and let me just show you guys what I'm talking about really quick. So most burrs have the holes for the screws. Blind burrs don't have the holes. And I want to say it was Lance that was saying it doesn't have that type of bearing on there. Not that it's not cool, but yeah. I'm never gonna say, hey, you gotta got blind burrs, but I do like the fact it looks cool anyway. It looks cool. Yeah, it is super consistent, super fast. I've been really, like I said, I have been so impressed with this. I have been really trying to think about getting a DF grinder for a long time. I wanted a DF64V, And then Hanya reached out to me for this one and asked me to do the review, and I am so happy and surprised and just over ecstatic with it. It's just been a really great pleasure. I still would like to get a DO64, to do a big showdown comparison. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what the future holds. I really, guys, I love it when, I got a brand that reaches out and says, "Hey, can you do a review on this?" Because I get to goof around with this stuff and I get to make videos for y'all. And I dig that. I'm never going to say no to it, I like that. Alrighty, so let's see how we did here. Do some quick puck prep. Yeah, I'm digging this tool for $8. Can't beat it. Little flip. I'll take that. Take that any day. All right, let's give this a little tap for love. All right, there we go. Use the distributor. We'll change it up. We'll use the Time More. Here's the new Time More self-leveling force tamper. Nice and flat. That's the difference. Okay. Not going to forget the puck screen. Put that up top. Okay. All right, y'all. Let's see here. I'm reading your comment right now. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a hard one. The DO64 is kind of like it's such a standard bearer for especially the specialty coffee industry, and especially lately. And it's a great market disruptor. I dig it because they're changing stuff, and I like it. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's pull this shot here. Nice. Definitely better. Yeah, I like this more. I'm at 12 and 14, so definitely 1-to-1, really close. Great crema buildup. Oh, and a lot of overspray. Killing me now. Okay. Let's stop it right about here. 32 and 25. I will take that. Definitely user error. A little bit of overspray right there. But yeah, I'm digging that. I like the crema. Definitely more on tune of what I want to see. Okay. Nice crema built up. That's definitely more of the ideal shot. Okay. Let's go ahead and test this one out too. When I use the spoon, dye fluid just gives you a spoon. They don't give you a little syringe. But when I use the spoon, I try to grab it from the bottom, so I'm not pulling as much crema. But hey, like I said, this really isn't for science. This is more about my own fulfillment, I guess. Help me out. Oh, nice. Okay, so here's an interesting point. That last one was a 12. Okay. This is a 13.86. So this actually has the higher TDS rating. And when it comes to volume, water volume, it was pretty close. Like it actually, they're pretty darn close. Let's give this shot a taste. Cheers, everybody. Salute. Solange. Oh, wow. Such a better shot. There's just no other way to say it. Really juicy. Has kind of that mouthfeel where you're like, that juiciness, like that, almost a little fruity. Great mouthfeel. Cinnamon sweet. Chocolate, milk chocolate. Yeah, that's good. Really good. The other day I did a video where I pulled one from here. Man, that was really good. And then I pulled one from my multi-purpose burr set with the Shorter 64. And I still think the HU style burrs are better for espresso. They give you that more traditional, especially if you're pulling, that Italian espresso in Lavanza. I mean, you can't get more Italian in Lavanza. I mean, that's just a very standard Italian blend. You can pretty much find anywhere in the world. So yeah, like as far as that goes, if I'm going to be pulling espresso shots from a light roast, I'm going to use the multi-purpose. I think for light roast, the multi-purpose, in my opinion, it gives you some more clarity, and I've had really good shots with. Oh, sorry, my thing. There we go. Yeah, I've had really great shots with that, and I did a video recently. If you guys are stateside or in Canada, the this one right here, the Macomb, is definitely a great grinder. I'm telling you guys, I have really, really loved this one, and it's awesome. Like, it really is just super cool. I'm going to just kind of tell you guys the big secret, though, okay? And I did do a versus video, but I'm just going to tell you guys right now, these are definitely coming out of the same place. The manufacturer is really, I'm pretty sure the manufacturer, I'm like 99% sure it's actually Chardor. So I'm very sure they're being built in the same place. They're just being skinned and made to different specs. Macomb probably reaches out to them as the OEM to build it, just like Gemini would do this for Torrent Legato or Me Coffee, and just like there are some companies that make. Sometimes this is known as a DF grinder, believe it or not. Some parts of the world they call this a DF grinder. It's probably made in a very similar place. Just say it like that. They have a shared heritage. So that's kind of the thing with a lot of these definitely budget brands. They kind of build out a system that's really good. I have gone down the crazy coffee rabbit hole. I know that in the Philippines they have very similar grinder, and I know that in South Korea, I have been watching so many coffee YouTubers from South Korea, guys. I really wish they would turn on their auto translate so I could hear it in English or their subtitles, because I'm telling you, if y'all haven't already, you got to follow some of these South Korean coffee channels. They're so much fun. I am literally like, I don't speak Korean, and I'm watching them. I'm being engaged. I'm getting into what they're doing. Uh, it is really fun. Like, I'm not even joking. I know that sounds crazy. I'm a 40 mid 40-year-old man, and I'm like a little kid watching it while they're poop poop poop, like showing these little pops and stuff. I'm telling you, it's some good stuff. So definitely check out the videos. But in different markets, this is kind of being, whoa, yeah, I forgot that was on, reskinned different ways. So there's definitely some cool stuff out there. All right, y'all. Hey, be sure to make sure you're like and subscribe to my channel. Later on today, I am more than likely going to be doing my RO, reverse osmosis system, for making really good espresso water and coffee water. Uh, a lot of folks use people like Third Wave. I have not used a lot of Third Wave. I've used them once or twice. I do have some Third Wave. I might use that in my video. I'm not quite sure. But if you haven't already, there's a huge giant coffee rabbit hole about good coffee water. And I mentioned this in the beginning of the video. I live very rurally in Central Florida. Literally, we have a septic. I'm very countryside. We have bears that come out and visit us in the backyard. So when I say I live in the country, I live in the country, y'all. But oh, cool. I'm just reading your comment, Hazel. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Um, my water quality out here isn't the greatest. So that's one of the things that I'm super stoked to show you guys this system. But the one thing I'm going to tell you guys, with reverse osmosis, you're taking out minerals, you're taking out stuff, which is great. But the coffee loves minerals. Coffee loves that, and that's where using things like Third Wave, or there's a lot of Espresso Outlet has a great video on it. Dylan has a great video on his channel, and you guys should watch him. I'm trying to remember his personal channel. Um, is it Dylan's Home Cafe? Something like that. Anyway, he has a great video on how to make your own coffee water. So I am not an expert on that part, but I am definitely putting the toe into that area. So I should be having that video out here pretty soon. Just kind of showing you guys that new unit because I think it's pretty cool. Tom's Coffee Corner just used one the other day. He did a video that seemed pretty cool. That's what kind of sparked it all. But hey, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And yeah, just make some good coffee. Um, I appreciate y'all so much. We've had a lot of channel growth lately, and I'm telling you guys, I just dig hanging with you. Appreciate y'all spending time with me on a Sunday, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much.